Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hump Day Yoga with MimiLumi Presents. In case you missed it in my earlier videos, we have dropped down this class to once a fortnight. So obviously there wasn't a new class last Wednesday, but this Wednesday, here we go again. And that's going to pretty much continue on now for the foreseeable future. But if it was to change again, I'll be sure to let you all know. But for today's practice, we're going to start standing. So take your time, setting yourself up in the space, and as always, make sure that you listen to your body, stop and rest where you need to. It will be a somewhat dynamic class, but there'll be a lot of opportunities for rest as well. So let's begin. So we'll start standing today at the top of our mat with feet hip width distance apart, feet falling directly underneath your hip sockets. Take a moment to bring your weight back onto your heels to pick up your toes, spread them wide, and then place them back down in towards your mat. And then take a little moment to just have a play with your balance, moving side to side, forwards, backwards, until you can find that real sweet spot where it feels like the weight is evenly spreading through all four corners of your feet. It's a little bit of energy and engagement through the thighs and the legs. And as we inhale, we draw the shoulders up towards our ears. Exhale, bring them back down our spine, a little bit of energy towards fingertips. And then allow your eyes to softly close. And take a few moments here, taking centering breaths as you breathe in and out through the nose. Not trying to actively change or alter the breath, but simply noticing its natural rhythm and texture this morning. Checking in with how you're feeling, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And becoming really aware of your place in this space and in this moment. Feeling that connection of the soles of the feet in towards your mat and in towards the ground. And that sense of awareness of the space around you. So even with your eyes closed, you're noticing the quality of the air, its temperature in the room around you. You have a sense of being surrounded by four walls and a ceiling. Perhaps if you're practicing outside, feeling that sense of openness and greater space around you. And then allow every breath to be an opportunity to truly collect yourself into this space. So allow your mind to quiet, and thoughts might still pop up in the mind, but just let them rise and then float away. Allowing yourself to just become really present and still in this moment. And then as you inhale, with the eyes still softly closed, let's just bring those arms up towards the sky on the inhale. And you can bring them up any way that you see fit. So don't feel the need to open your eyes and look at what I'm doing, just trust your own instincts. And then as you exhale, the hands really slowly float and flow back down beside the body. So we're simply linking movement with breath. Inhale, the arms rise up to the sky. And then exhale, they soften and lower back down. And if you want to change the way that the arms move between sets, feel free to do so. So it feels like exploration and play, but it's just that every inhale, the arms rise, and every exhale, the arms lower. And notice how that makes your whole body feel. As you inhale, hopefully there's a sense of lift and lengthen through the entire spine, of lightness in the body. And then as you exhale, can you encourage that lightness to remain, but still have a sense of grounding back down through the soles of the feet and release. 2 more times in your own breathing pattern. Good. And then when you finish off that last round, slowly allow your eyes to reopen, becoming adjusted to the light in the room once more. And as you inhale, we'll take those arms up towards the sky again, but this time feeling like you're almost stretching out as though you've woken up first thing in the morning. And then as you exhale, we'll take a little bit of a bend through the knees, and we're going to hinge forward from the hips and just swing forward, swing up, and then let the arms drop. Good. So we'll do this another 2 times, and you're simply letting the momentum of your arms and of your torso bring you into that swing. Inhale, we stretch and reach up towards the sky, maybe even coming up onto the balls of the feet, and then exhale with the softness in the knees, swing down, back, neck soft. Inhale up and then release. So it should feel like you're almost getting rid of all dusty cobwebs in the body, nice and refreshing. Working out those kinks. Inhale, we come up again. That's the option to come onto the balls of the feet. Exhale, the back of the neck is soft and long. We swing down. Good. Lovely. From here, begin to bring your weight into your supporting left leg. And as you inhale, we draw that right knee in towards the chest, wrapping the hand around the knee, squeezing the knee in towards the chest. Really ground down through that supporting left foot and the thigh, lifting up out of the hip. And keep drawing the right knee towards the chest like an active bicep curl, shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Engagement through your core muscles, navel drawing in towards the back of the spine to maintain your balance. Find a focus point ahead of you, either at the wall or the floor, to rest your gaze. And then drop your right knee so that it's level with your hip. Take the left hand to the outside edge of the right knee. And we're coming into a spinal twist here, reaching right hand behind us as we twist towards the right. And if you feel comfortable here, perhaps you're extending that right leg out, foot flexed. Ooh, if you take a wobble, don't beat yourself up. Maybe you can even turn to look at those back right fingertips behind you. Continuing to spiral and lift and lengthen through the spine. One more deep breath in, and then as you exhale, unwind from the twist, draw the knee back in towards the chest, give it a little hug and squeeze. And then on your next exhalation, drop that right foot back down and release into chair posture. So again, we're really contracting through our core muscles. We're drawing our tailbone backwards in space. If you look down, you should be able to just see those toes and have quite a wide open broad V for the arms so that the collarbones are soft and the chest is broad. Continuing to hold here. And then on your next exhalation, whenever that is, inhale, lift and lengthen back up. Exhale, hands come to prayer and heart center. And just take a moment to really feel that length through the back of the spine and the back of the neck. Center your thoughts and your breath. And then only when you feel ready should the weight now come into the supporting right leg. And we inhale that left knee in towards the chest. Squeezing it in nice and close. So again, we're actively pressing out through the sole of that right foot. Feeling like we're growing taller out of the supporting leg. We squeeze left knee in towards the chest. On your next exhalation, we drop the knee so it's a little bit more level with the hip. The right hand is on the outside edge of the leg this time. And we reach with the left hand behind us in space. Twisting and curving towards the left. And again, you take this as you see fit. So maybe you're holding here. Maybe the left leg extends and you can take the hand a little bit more underneath the thigh. Maybe you can continue to twist deeper to the left and look back at those left fingertips. Continue to grow tall out from that supporting right leg. One more deep breath in and then exhale. When you come out of the twist, inhale, draw that left knee a little higher towards the chest. And then exhale, the left foot comes down and we come back into that chair posture, maybe even a little lower this time. Good, holding here. Maybe you come up into a rise on an inhale and then exhale. Ooh, squeeze those heels back down towards the mat, even coming a little lower, like you're squeezing grains. Inhale, we come up. And then exhale, we squeeze deeper. Good. One more deep breath in, finding a little bit more space for the chest. And then exhale, hands to prayer. And we fall back into Uttanasana. Give your head a couple of nods and shakes here. Just to relax any tension that you might be feeling through the spine. And the knees nice and soft. We're focusing more on sending the heart center and the chest closer to the thighs. Good. Inhale to a halfway lift, taking hands up onto shins and coming to a flat back position. Again, we're really strong and engaged through the core. And then exhale, we soften and fold deep. Good. Couple of deep breaths here. Beautiful. And then from here, bring a little bit more weight to the hands, and we're going to bend those knees down to come to a toe squat, and we'll transition into our Malasana squat. So we want to take those feet a little further apart so that the heels can begin to sink down towards the mat, and our knees are still pointing out our toes. And you can either keep the hands on the floor for a bit more gentle yin variation, feel a bit more supported by the earth, or the hands come to prayer at heart center. And once they're there, you're actively pressing your elbows into your thighs, but at the same time pressing the thighs in towards the elbows. And you'll find that little dynamic squeeze will help to lengthen and lift your spine and lift you up out of your pelvis and torso. Back of the neck is soft and long. We'll just hold here for a couple of breaths. So in this sequence that we'll be doing today, there's going to be a lot of standing postures. Not a lot of coming back down to the ground, but I'd like to invite this to be an option for your rest pose, Malasana, which you can take at any time. Or simply our rest will be to stand in Tadasana with our hands in prayer at heart center, just like we have them now. Good. From here, we'll just take those hands down towards the floor, and I'd like you to walk yourself out into your first downward facing dog for the practice today. So back of the neck is long, the hands are about shoulder distance apart, maybe a little wider, feet about hip distance. Really think about rotating those shoulders out and up the spine. Good. And from here, we'll walk our dog a few rounds, alternate heel presses. Left heel comes down towards the mat as the right knee bends, and then we swap over, right heel comes down, left knee bends. And move as fast or as slow as feels right for you. Wonderful. Good. From there, you're going to inhale to come to slightly higher downward dog. Coming to the balls of the feet, working the tailbone up a little higher to the sky. Keep those shoulders rotating out and up the spine. And then exhale, heels become heavy and they melt really effortlessly towards the floor. So we're still warming up. Knees can be a little bit bent still, that's okay. Focus more on lengthening through the spine, drawing that tailbone up towards the sky. Good. From here, today let's walk the hands back in towards the feet. So we slowly walk them back in. Back to Uttanasana. Good. Bend the knees a little further if you need to, and then as you exhale, we slowly begin to roll up through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, until we come to standard position, Tadasana. So we've rolled back up to our standing Tadasana, and take a moment to reposition yourself if you need to. So you should be at the front of your mat. Make your way there if you aren't already. And then we want our feet to be either hip width distance apart or traditional Tadasana, toes touching, heels slightly apart. We're going to keep returning to Tadasana today. So it's going to be like our rebound position almost. So take the time to really lengthen and engage. Hands in prayer and heart center. I'm going to turn just so that you can see these movements a little bit more clearly. As you inhale, take a big open heart breath. Fingers reaching out beside the body. And then as you exhale, weight comes into the supporting left leg. And then we bring that right knee in towards the chest. Squeeze it in once more. Deep breath in. Exhale, send this right leg behind you so that you're coming into your warrior one. Yeah, so walk the left foot further out a little if you need to. We're grounding that back right heel towards the floor, and we're bringing the pelvis so that the hips are putting directly in front of us. Arms reaching out to the sky. As you exhale, we'll contract through the core muscles, and we drive that right knee back up, and left elbow comes to tap the outside edge. And then we inhale with control to come back into a controlled warrior one. We'll take this another 2 times. Exhale, strong contraction of the core drives us up. We twist and we tap the elbow to the outside edge of the right knee. And then we inhale to lower with control. Shoulders stay relaxed and away from ears. One more time. Exhale. Twist and tap. Inhale, we extend down. Stay in that warrior one to begin with. So we still have those hips pointing directly towards us, towards the front. Exhale, hands come behind. Interlace those fingers. Inhale, big open heart breath. And then exhale, humble warrior. So this is our true humble warrior. We keep grounding down through the back right heel. Relax through the back of the neck. You're looking back at those right toes. Keep working the wrists together and the shoulder blades together. Good. As you inhale, release those hands and sweep them back up into your warrior one. And then as you exhale again, we draw that right knee in towards the chest. We hug it in nice and close, squeeze it in tight. Deep breath in, exhale, we lower, return the hands to prayer at heart center. Good, we take a little extended heart breath here. Inhale, And then exhale, we return to center. And we complete the same sequence on the other side. So again, we inhale, expanded heart breath. Exhale, weight comes into the supporting right leg now as the left knee comes in towards the chest. Good, as you exhale with control, we guide that left foot back and we come into our warrior one. Once you're there, you might need to walk the front right foot a little further forward. So you can just see those toes, hips square off to the short end of your mat. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, contract through the core. We bring that knee back up and we tap right elbow now to the outside edge of the left knee. Inhale with control, we lower back to warrior one. Exhale. A little bit of a twist to the left. Inhale, we lower with control. Hips stay square to that front of the mat. Exhale, last time. Inhale, we extend and lengthen. Fingers reaching up to the sky. Exhale, we take those hands behind, interlace those fingers. Inhale, big open heart breath. Exhale, humble warrior. Laying that torso over the front of the right thigh, looking back at those left toes. Heel grounding down, hips stay square to the front, short end of your mat. Wrists working together. Hold for a couple of breaths here. Keep engaging your core muscles. And then we release those fingers. Inhale, we sweep the arms back up to come to our warrior one. And then exhale, contract through the core. Squeeze left knee in close towards the chest. Inhale to lift and lengthen out of the spine and supporting leg. And then exhale, you softly lower that left foot back to the floor. Hands return to prayer at heart center. Inhale, expanded heart breath. And then exhale, the hands return. And if you want to rest here for a few breaths, you can. So continuing on with our next round, we inhale, big open heart, expanded heart breath, exhale, weight into the supporting leg, right knee draws up in towards the chest. Good, keep pressing out through the supporting left sole of foot. Deep breath in, and then this time as you exhale, we draw this right foot back and we're going to transition straight into warrior two. So our hips are in a different angle this time, we're still grounding out through the back of the right heel. Walk your left foot further forward if you need to so you can just see those toes. And we open up our arms into our warrior two. Make sure the torso stays over the pelvis and we're not leaning forward just yet. Looking over that front left arm. Couple of breaths here. Continue to deepen the lunge if you can. Turn the front palm up, inhale to reach forward, exhale, reverse warrior. We're lightly landing the right hand on the back of the right thigh or calf, making sure we're not sinking down. And we look at those back right toes. Make sure it's a side stretch here, and you're not putting any weight to the lower back. Option to pick up the heel of the left leg and deepen the lunge, resting just on the ball of that left foot. We're going to transition into our side angle. You can keep the ball of the foot on the floor and the heel raised if you wish. Inhale, we come up, and then exhale. You're either dropping the elbow to the front thigh as the right hand reaches up or over the ear, or you're taking the fingertips towards the floor. So obviously, because if you're on the ball of the foot, it's further to reach. You're lifting yourself up a little higher. Exhale, perhaps that left heel softens back into the floor and you can ground through that palm a little bit more deeply. Just look wherever's comfortable for the neck. Keep rotating the heart center open, stacking left shoulder on top of right. Next inhalation, we imagine we're being pulled up with that top right hand back to our warrior two. Exhale. Can you deepen and sink a little bit more into that lunge? Nice. From here, we'll exhale to windmill our hands back down towards the mat. We release this back left heel. Hold for a moment in your supported lunge, stretching through the front of that right hip flexor. And then we'll do a little retract back. Press off this back right foot and come straight back up. And you might wobble, and that's okay. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Grab it with the hands. Relax that right hip so it's lower, leveling with the left, and relax through the back of the neck. And then we draw the right foot back to Tadasana, hands return to prayer at heart center. Breath or two here. Just to steady back out. So again, Tadasana is our rest pose today. Feels very weird not to be looking at the camera, but this is just the best angle for you to see my whole body. And then we continue on with our other side. Inhale, open, expanded heart breath. Exhale, press through the supporting left leg, draw that left knee a little higher, and hopefully it's getting higher and higher through each round. Exhale, softly and lower with control, that leg towards the back of your mat, and you can transition straight into that warrior two, walking the right foot further forward, feeling the outside edge of the left foot ground down into the mat, reaching out through fingertips. Good. We can keep deepening that lunge if we can. Wonderful. Gaze looking out over the right arm. When you're ready to move on, we turn the front palm up. We inhale to reach forward. Exhale, reverse warrior. Very lightly landing the left hand on that back left leg. Look wherever is comfortable for your neck today, whether that's down at the floor or up at the top hand. And then we have that option of rising onto the ball of that right foot. So the right heel is off the floor. Inhale for yourself, being pulled up with the top right hand, and then we exhale to release into gentle side angle or full side angle. Again, see if you can keep just resting on the ball of the right foot to begin with, and then exhale, then we ground down. Really use the scaffolding of your leg and your arm to encourage that open twist to the left, stepping left shoulder on top of right vertically. Hold for a few more breaths. Keep spreading out the toes on that supporting leg. And then inhale, imagine that you're being pulled up with that top left hand. Exhale, we windmill those hands back down towards the floor, supported high lunge. And again, just take a moment, a bit of a stretch through the front of the left hip flexor. Exhale, retract back, relax through the back of the neck, and then we push off the supporting left leg, and we drive that left knee back in towards the chest. And again, it's natural to have a little bit of a wobble. See if we can draw the knee a little tighter towards the chest. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Exhale, we soften the left foot towards the floor, and we return to hands at prayer, heart center, Anjali Mudra, Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths there as your rest. Good. Lovely. Last standing pose. Inhale, open, expanded heart breath. Exhale, we draw the right knee in towards the chest one more time. Deep breath in. This time we're going to keep the knee where it is and bring the hands to bear at heart center. So really engaging very strongly through the core, trying to continue to lift the right knee up a little higher. Then we flex the foot, and then as we exhale, we press that foot behind us and we fly straight into warrior three. Dropping our right hip so it's level with our left. Hands can either be straight up in front of us, or maybe you want to take a T shape, or if you want to bring the hands to the floor for supported, warrior three, feel free to do so. You're feeling a little wobbly, but often that can make you sort of sink and collapse into the posture. And I want to really feel a sense of growth here. Good. 2 more breaths. In and out. Keep trying to square those hips off as much as you can. Let your second exhalation draw right knee back in towards the chest. Right now your left leg is on fire, and that's good. Exhale, can you actually lower back to chair? Sinking the hips deep before we inhale to come back up. Tadasana. Again, take a couple of breaths here as you need. And then we'll transition to the other side. So inhale. Big open expanded heart breath. Exhale. Really ground down for the supporting right leg. Draw that left knee in a little higher towards the chest. Exhale, contract your core muscles even more. Release that leg, hands come to prayer and heart center. Hold for a beat there. Feel that control and strength in the legs. Then we flex the left foot. Exhale. We fly into our warrior three choice. Again, we're trying to really drop. Left hip level with right so the hips are square. Ground and press down through that back left heel. Hands are either in front, T shape, or we're making a connection to the earth beneath us. Ooh. See if we can hold for 2 more breaths. In and out, really strongly working through the core. And then when we're ready, we drive that left knee back in towards the chest. Give it a little hug and squeeze. And feel like you're really dropping the tailbone back. As you sink into that chair. Inhale, we reach and lift and lengthen up. Exhale, hands return to prayer at heart center. Close down your eyes for a few breaths. Forehead just gently bowing down towards fingertips. Take a couple of breaths here. In and out. Notice the warmth you've built up in the body, where you feel those areas of effort has been made. Wherever that might be, core, legs, spine, ankles, wherever that might be. And then inhale, big open expanded heart breath. Exhale, return the hands to prayer at heart center. And then turn so that you're facing the long end of your mat. Hands come to hips, and we'll walk those legs out really nice and wide. Coming through Prasarita Padottanasana, so that outside edges of our mat, of our feet, are lining up with the short ends of our mat. So you'll be parallel legged, you might even feel a little pigeon toed. Really feel like that you're sucking energy up through the soles of the feet, along the thighs, kneecaps drawing up towards hips. Hands come to rest on the pelvis. And again, we're imagining that the pelvis is holding a bowl of water. And right now it's level, but now we want to tip the water forwards and out. So we inhale to lift and lengthen. And then we tip our little pelvis water bowl forwards, and we let the torso reach down and forwards. Bringing those hands one at a time underneath the shoulders. Relax through the back of the neck. Just stopping at this flat back-like position. And holding there for a few breaths. Maybe the palms can come to flat on the floor. Maybe you need to bend the knees a little, that's okay. Good. So I'm just going to change my angle. Now this is a gentler variation, and please feel free to stay just here. Enjoying this stretch as it is, feeling that opening up through the inner thighs and that release through the back. If you wish to move deeper, we exhale again. There's a bit of a contraction through the core, and we guide the crown of the head a little closer to the floor, and we guide those fingertips back so that they're lining up a little bit more with our toes. Elbows are bent, elbows pointing to the wall behind us, but stay open and broad through the chest. And we'll just hold here for a few breaths. And you're imagining that water is running down through the spine now, right from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Good. Lovely. And from here, inhale, walk those hands back out so that they're at shoulder height. We'll ground down through our right hand into the floor, and then inhale, left arm comes up, and we come into a nice open twist, looking up at those fingertips. Keep the thighs engaged here, kneecaps drawing up towards hips. You'll feel the stretch more through the right inner thigh now. One more deep breath in. Can you find a little bit more spiral through the spine before you exhale to take that left hand down towards the mat, and then we inhale, right arm up to the sky, opposite twist. And again, you want to really open and broaden through the heart center. Keep the thighs engaged, and you're looking up at those right fingers. Notice the difference between the right and the left side. Notice that asymmetry in your body. One more deep breath in, and then exhale. We take those hands back underneath the shoulders. And then we're just going to heel and toe the feet a little bit more in together. And again, not really very elegant, but we're just going to drop straight back down into our Malasana squat. So you might need to widen or shorten the legs, the distance between the legs, it's up to you. I'm just going to pivot back this way. And again, if the heels don't quite hit the floor, that's okay. We're guiding them in that direction, but they might not if your Achilles or your calves are quite tight. Take a couple of breaths here. Good. Feel free to stay here in this version of our Malasana squat, or if you want to come to Bakasana, crow, we can do so now. There's two ways to approach crow. You can keep this sort of dynamic squeeze of upper forearm into knee and then knee into upper forearm, and then we transition forward. Some people might prefer to feel that the knees are more up in the armpit area or at the very top of your forearm. For me, it depends on the kind of day that I'm having as to which variation works best for me. So I like to experiment between both. We really spread those fingers wide, we press the pads into the hands. And the idea here is that you don't want to feel like you're sinking down, you want to feel like you're flying. So you're just rocking the weight forward into the hands, and then maybe one toe comes off, and then maybe the other. And if you want to keep alternating, that's fine. But press the earth away from you. Woo. And if you take a wobble and come out, that's okay. If you're feeling tension in the wrists, give them a little circle or a shake or a little massage. And you can come in and out of this as many times as feels right for you. And again, if you only want to keep the feet on the floor, or maybe just play with one foot coming off, that's okay as well. Ooh. pressing out through every knuckle of the hand. And then when you're ready to come down, my wrists weren't really feeling it today, that's okay. Still glad that I tried. Really relax through the back of the neck and take a much more yin variation of Malasana. Maybe palms reaching up towards the sky. And just rest here for a few breaths. If you're still feeling any tenderness in the wrists, again, you can just give them a little bit of a massage or circle the wrists as you hold here. Inhale to look forward between those hands, and then take the hands one at a time behind you. Simply guide your bottom down onto your mat, and then we'll lengthen those legs out nice and long into our rod posture, Dandasana. So in Dandasana, take your time to make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall. Feel free to sit on the edge of a folded blanket or cushion to help, again, rock that pelvis water forward so it's level. So we don't want to pull forwards or backwards. And then we can walk the flesh out from underneath the buttocks so that we're sitting up nice and tall on those sit bones. Come straight into our Upavista Konasana. So we'll take those legs out into a comfortable V-shaped position. Make sure the toes are pointing up towards the sky and that the thighs remain engaged, kneecaps drawing up towards hips. We'll start with our hands behind us to really encourage that sense of lift and lengthen through the spine. Good. And this might be strong enough for you already today. You might be feeling a real strong stretch on the inner thigh. You might find that it's quite hard to sit nice and tall and upright, and then that's what we want to work towards today. But if you feel like this is a fairly comfortable seat for you, and you'd like to move deeper into the fold, we inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, you hinge forward from the hips, and I want you to press those fingertips behind you into the mat, and it's like the roots of a tree, growing deeper into the floor and into the earth. And as they grow deeper, so does the crown of your head or the branches and the leaves of your tree grow forward and upwards. So we're not obsessing about trying to bring the head towards the floor. No. What we are feeling is a lengthening through the spine. And as we lengthen and we grow in those two directions, both forwards and backwards, maybe the heart center can open and surrender a little bit more down towards the floor. If you feel like you can't really come any further forward with your hands where they are, you might want to reach and hold onto your ankles and find that little bit of grip. Again, encourages you to lengthen through the spine and open and broaden through the chest rather than to collapse or surrender down. Relax through the back of the neck. Feel free to close down your eyes. Keep those thighs engaged. Mine just switched off then. And again, we'll take a couple of breaths here. There should be active engagement for the abdominals here, helping to protect your lower back and to increase that hinge motion. One more deep breath in and out to hold. And then as we exhale, we let the hands slide up the legs, bring the torso back upright. Wherever the hands are, whether that's behind you or on the legs, we take them now underneath the knees and we draw the knees in towards the chest. We wrap the arms around the legs, and then as we exhale, we bring the forehead down towards the knees. And we pause there for a few breaths in our cosmic egg posture. Just letting any tension that's built up between the shoulder blades and the neck melt away. And you should feel like a really rocking back on your tailbone slightly. It's kind of like an angsty, moody teenager kind of pose, really. When you're ready to move on, we inhale to lift the forehead back up off the knees, and then we take our hands behind us to help gently guide the elbows and the torso down on towards the mat, and we draw those knees in towards the chest. Give your knees a little hug and a squeeze again. If you want to interlace the fingers at the back of the neck, and again draw the forehead towards the knees, just with the strength of your arms and a bit of intention from your abdominals, to lengthen and release through the back of the neck. Before you inhale to lengthen that neck and the spine back along the floor. From here, draw the right foot on towards the floor, and we'll take this left foot and place it just above your kneecap with the left foot flexed and the left knee pointing out towards the side. As you exhale, we contract through the core muscles and we draw the right thigh in towards the chest. You're either holding onto the back of the right thigh or the top of the right knee, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Left elbow is helping to encourage the left knee to point out towards the sky as that left foot stays flexed. Now thread the needle stretch for our legs, for our glutes and our hips. And we'll hold here for a couple of breaths. As you exhale, you want to feel that your tailbone is lengthening back down towards the mat so that your spine stays nice and neutral and long. And as you inhale, perhaps you can use the strength of your arms to just guide that right knee in a little closer towards the chest. And it's just slow, soft, and subtle movements. You don't have to move a huge amount to be feeling the benefit of the stretch. And again, the eyes can close back down. Imagine that you can feel your breath flooding the area where you feel stretched the most today. And then before we finish, perhaps you'd like to take just a very small, subtle rock from side to side. So you're rocking that leg to the right and to the left. And just notice if that changes the stretch in your left hip or your left buttock at all. Before returning to stillness, and then that right foot slowly releases back down towards the floor as you release the thigh or the knee. And then the left foot comes down, and then the right foot comes to rest above that left knee. Foot flexed, right knee pointing out towards the side. And again, it's a contraction of the core muscles which guides that left thigh in towards the chest. Good. Use your right elbow to encourage your right knee to point a little bit more out towards the side, and make sure that right foot stays flexed. Exhale, and you surrender your tailbone a little bit more towards the floor, even if that's just 0.5 millimeter. And as you inhale, there's a little bit of a contraction through the biceps to bring that left thigh closer towards the chest, but make sure you're staying soft through the neck and the shoulders and the collarbones and the jaw. There should be no tension there. Feel free to close down those eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And then as we did some on the other side, we take a very soft, subtle rock from side to side. Noticing as well that lovely little sense of massage through the lower back, as well as that different translation or that different sensation in the stretch as you go from side to side. Good. We return to stillness, and then we release the leg, release that left thigh, draw both feet down towards the mat. Let's take our arms either into a T-shaped position, or if you don't have quite enough space around you, cactus arm, with the elbows lining up with the shoulders. Take your feet out nice and wide, and then just let your knees knock together. Take a couple of breaths here. Really feel that sense of connection to the floor beneath you, and the support and the embrace of the earth. So that was a lot of standing postures in this sequence today. And that was great. Sometimes it's really nice to feel that upward surge of energy, that sense of reaching and lifting towards the sky, acknowledging that strength of the legs that hold you. And now we want to reward all that hard effort and feel a sense of release and surrendering towards the floor. Let's take a couple of really simple spinal twists. So keep the feet where they are on the floor. But as you take your next exhalation, the knees will come all the way towards the left side of your mat. And you can turn the gaze now so you're looking towards your right, over that right arm or elbow. Inhale, head and knee back to center. And then exhale, the knees come all the way to the right as you shift the gaze towards the left. Inhale through center. Now it's your choice today if you want to take that as a flow. Just continuing to move with the breath as you inhale up and you exhale into the twist. Or if you move into the twist and you think, oh yes, that feels really nice, I'd just like to hold here for a few breaths. You can do so as well. And then when you're ready to move on, you inhale up and you take that longer hold on the opposite side. Feel free to try both, really. You can have a couple of lengthier holds. And then when you're ready, inhale, we return to that flow. You feel that really lovely massage through the pelvis and the buttocks. Good. The next time that you exhale the knees to the right, let that be your last round. Inhale back up to center. Draw knees in towards the chest for one last little final hug and squeeze. And then transition into your Shavasana today. So that could be with Soles of feet on the floor, knees knocked once more if that feels more comfortable in your hips or your lower back. Or it could be the legs coming out nice and long. Maybe a generous hip width distance apart, toes flopping out to the side. Arms are perhaps beside the body, palms facing up. Or maybe they're resting on the belly for a little bit more of an internally focused relaxation. But whatever position you choose for your body today, make sure you take your time to get settled in, make any last little wriggles or adjustments that you need to. If you'd like to stack a pillow underneath the base of your skull for a little extra padding, or just to bring that neck into a more neutral alignment, you can do so as well. And then when you've got any little adjustments or wriggles out of the way, we invite ourselves into true and complete stillness. Begin to bring some awareness to the breath, not trying to actively change or alter it, but just simply using it as a rhythm to draw yourself deeper into Shavasana. So that as you exhale, you can feel the whole back of your body sink and surrender downwards. And as you inhale, the whole top half of your body feels really light, open and spacious. Open to receiving the energy you've built up in the room. Toes, soles of feet and ankles soften. And the flesh of the shin and the calves melts away from the bone. Front and back of knees relax. And front and back of thighs heavy, sinking into the floor. You can feel your pelvis and your hips and your buttocks relax down into the mat. And as you inhale, we release through abdominals and through hips. The hard work of the abdominals is done for the moment. You can feel your lower back soften as your rib cage and shoulder blades melt and fuse down into the earth beneath you. Heart center and collarbones are soft, allowing for easy breaths in and out through the nose. And your arms are completely relaxed wherever they may be, fingertips gently curling softly inwards. Front and back of neck is long. The chin and the mouth and the jaw is soft and relaxed. There's no tension being held at the right or left cheek, or the right and left eye, particularly at the back of the eye socket. You can really feel a sense of release through the back of the head, crown of the skull, and the forehead and third eye. Whole body completely at peace and relaxed. And if any thoughts begin to bubble up in the mind, we acknowledge them, but then we gently press them to one side, not letting anything intrude into this moment of peace and relaxation. Your Shavasana. Slowly begin to draw the awareness back to the body now by taking a few deep breaths in and out. Really noticing the belly rise and fall. Perhaps even taking an audible exhale out through the mouth. And then we bring some gentle movement to fingers and toes, giving them a wriggle, feeling skin, rub on skin. And then allow our heads to turn from side to side, to massage through the back of the skull and to reawaken the neck. As the head returns to center, complete any last little stretches that feel right for you. Whether that's inhaling into a full body stretch, fingers and toes pointing away from the body, Or perhaps it's drawing those knees in towards the chest for another final hug and squeeze, or gentle rock from side to side. Let your instincts guide you into doing any last little movements that feel right to close your practice. And then we'll roll over onto our right side and pause there for a moment in a fetal position, giving our body one last chance to re-enter the space of the room. And then only when you feel completely ready and with your eyes still softly closed, use your hands and your arms to gently push yourself up into a comfortable seated or kneeling position, not worrying about where you end up facing. Hands resting gently at the thighs or the knees. Take a moment to re-establish and find that length in your spine, chin slightly tucked in towards the chest. And pay close attention once more to the breath as you breathe in and out through the nose. Notice any changes that might have occurred as a result of your practice. Whether those changes be at the breath, in the body, or at the mind or heart center. And then we'll take our hands to prayer at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Bow our forehead down towards our fingertips. Take this moment to truly thank yourself for taking the time out of your busy day and week to come and practice yoga. To spend this time with yourself on the mat. I'd like to conclude the class with one chant of the mantra Om. You can join in simply by listening. But if you'd like to chant with me, we'll synchronize the breath by all exhaling here. And then we'll take a deep breath in for Om. May you carry these peaceful vibrations with you into the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Thank you for joining me for this online digital practice this week. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, please feel free to send me any questions or any requests in the comments below the video. And make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss any new videos. I hope you have a really wonderful week. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.